a lot of FBAs are kind of delineating right now, and that's just because we have really tried to ban with everybody, but in the sense of banning with a lot of groups, they've given their asses for us to kiss as a collective, not necessarily individuals. There are some individuals from each group that will support FBAs, but as a collective, we are starting to see that a lot of those groups have not supported us. I'll give you an example. Reparations is on the table for Black Americans right now, and there have been a lot of different ethnicities that have said that Black Americans don't deserve it.
Yeah, yeah,
We've seen that, and
yeah.
that hurts because we need this. That is one of the things that may help out our community and give back that generational wealth that we once lost, because we've lost it. It was taken from us. So putting reparations back on the table and getting that support from other people, we're not seeing that support on the level that we need to see it. And the individuals that you had up here, they were talking about things from their experiences. They have yet to sit down and talk to an FBA about their experiences with them. And I'll
Hmm.
give you an example. A lot of Black immigrants will say things like, "Oh, a Black American picked on me," right? They don't tell you that they themselves pick on us too. So it's like a back and forth thing, but they seem to only tell their story. Now, granted, both of it is horrible. It's horrible. Okay. We shouldn't be doing that at all. But now you fast forward to 2025 and you have a Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. This is a completely new generation. And a lot of these FBAs, such as myself, are listening to the teachings of Boyce Watkins, Philip Scott, and Dr. Claude Anderson. And they all talk about Black generational wealth. And one of the things that they also talk about is a delineation, is because we could never get anything done because there are more non FBAs that are coming here and they're bringing their issues and the things that they have to get done. So we're like, okay, we're going to put this on pause and we got to go help them. And now that Trump's presidency has brought about so much chaos, it really has brought about chaos. And now it's starting to highlight different issues in the community, in everybody's community.
Yeah.
We got issues. Haitian Americans got issues. Jamaicans got issues. Our Hispanic Latinos got issues. It's starting to highlight these things, and now we see more separation than ever. And the separation on our end is coming from rejection. We've been rejected so much that now we're like, you know what? We're just gonna have to leave people alone. We're just gonna have to do things on our own. It doesn't come from a rejection of we hate you. No, it comes from a rejection of, because we've experienced it for many, many years. This just did not happen overnight. It did not. This was years and years and years and years of experiencing anti-blackness from everybody. Everybody. Anti-black American.
I share the identity of Latino. I don't like it. I reject it, but I share the identity of Latino because I'm from Latin America. I share it with the Black people that are from Latin America. And one thing that I know for a fact, at least the ones that are honest, brown and Black people of Latin America, we know, we understand that Latin American media pushes so much anti Black American propaganda. And that is really where all of the, specifically, anti-Black American propaganda, because we already have anti-Blackness in Latin America, just in general for being Black. But then there's a very, very specific anti-Black American. That's a whole nother issue that has people of Latin America, including Black people of Latin America, has us all in a way in a trance, in some kind of spellbinding condition of, from the get-go, just by default, Black Americans specifically, stay away from them specifically. And I'll give you a great example of something that I experienced myself. When I was in high school, all of my circle were brown people, Mexicans, Chicanos, etc. And all of a sudden, I guess there was an immigrant that came to that school, and I believe I believe, I could be completely wrong, but I believe he was from Honduras. Nonetheless, he was from Latin America. And he was completely black presenting. And the clothes, like his style, the way he dressed, was like American, right? Like urban American, with the NBA jersey, things of that nature, right? So quite frankly, and I mean this with all due respect, you could not tell the difference with someone like him and a black American because he's black presenting and plus he's wearing the American clothing, if you will. And with that said, though, from the get go, without anyone telling him anything, he immediately came to side with us, meaning to hang with us. He didn't even try to go over there with black Americans. He, by default, came with us. Now, I will say this. We could say that, hey, maybe because he spoke Spanish. He spoke Spanish, so he could only communicate with us. I mean, he is an immigrant. He just arrived. He speaks our language, so it makes more sense for him to come with us. However, here's part of the experience that I think is the most important. While we're walking with this newcomer that was hanging around us, two black girls, black American girls, were walking by and they stopped because they saw this black kid hanging with us. And our group is just all Mexicans. But then all of a sudden, now we have a black dude in the group. And so the black girls, I think they must have been a little like, because they stopped in their tracks as we're walking by. We're walking this way, they're walking this way. So all of a sudden they say, hey, to him, hey, are you black? And then the dude was like, see? And then because he said, see, they're like, oh, no, you Latino. So it's like there is a divide there, a default divide. On one hand, you're right, by the way. I'm agreeing with you by using an example that I myself observed by default, because this person, a black kid, but from Latin America, although he is the same race as black Americans, he can only communicate with us. I guess maybe even culturally, he can identify more with us, culturally, with us. And that's the default cause of why he would come to our group. But at the same time, the black American girls, they saw one of them. They literally saw one of them. That's why they wanted to know, hey, are you black? See? Oh, no, you're not. What's the reason why you, although you see one of you, what was the detail that all of a sudden made you somehow, some way, change that person's identity, race, whatever it is that you were looking for, that all of a sudden, although you identified your people, he is no longer your people because, oh, you speak Spanish, never mind. That kind of goes back to the story I was sharing with the Panamanian about the Panamanian friend that I had, where she's with me and speaking in Spanish, and all of a sudden black Americans get in line with us and she starts speaking in English. And I'm like, why are you talking in English now? Oh, because there's black Americans behind us. So if they hear me speaking Spanish, boy, I'm not one of them. So I gotta switch to English.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Even if you are Afro Latina, right? Can you relate? Now, had that young man would have said, yeah, I am black, but not FBA, I guarantee you would have got a different response. Because yeah, black as a race, yes, but when we talk about culture, we differ. Do you understand what has happened to the black people in this country? And the answer for a lot of Afro Latinos is yeah, they do. They know exactly what has happened. For a lot of them, yes, but you still have a few who hang on to that white superiority complex that they have. And it's just with some FBAs too, not just them. I want to make that clear. Some FBAs have white superiority complex. The whole thing, are you black? I think they're trying to ask, are you black American?
It's obvious. It's obvious that that's what she's asking. It's obvious. It's obvious.
Comes out weird.
Yeah. But that's exactly what she said nonetheless. Are you black? And ironically, the fact that you're like laughing about it, he was like puzzled, like, what else? What else?
You are a symbol of whiteness to him, whether you
Sure.
know it or not.
Oh, yes, yes,
You
yes.
are so him clinging on to you gives him a self. It gives him a superiority complex as well
Uh-huh.
above me because I'm with this Hispanic guy who's a, looks closer to white proximity than what I am. So there's also a superiority complex with that. I hope that kind of cleared up some things for a lot of non FBAs who are black that come here, of why a lot of FBAs are just kind of backing off a little bit because we did. I want them to know we tried for years. We tried. We were called what's I forget what the slave name is called. We were called akatas, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we were called every name in the book.
Yeah.
Even Ilhan Omar, I think she's Somali. What does she do? She gets in office and say, "I'm here to protect Somalis." I'm like, we have to deal with things like that when we talk to black people who are non FBAs. We are trying to get something accomplished here, and sometimes it's hard because you have other non FBAs coming to tell us that, oh, y'all just want a handout. You are lazy. Ain't nobody lazy. Do you go to work and not get paid? We are the descendants of slaves. We have come to collect.
Yeah. 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 I was at the gym and there's this black dude. When I first noticed this dude, he was only going around and just like greeting people, but he's only greeting the Mexicans. And he was black. He would not greet any black American just at all. And now I'm over here working out, and I instantly identified that. Now, of course, at first assumption, I'm thinking he's only greeting those particular Mexicans. That's probably who he came with. That's his friends. But as the day progressed, or at least the 2 hours that I was there, and then as time progressed, meaning as I kept coming back to the gym at the same hour and I kept seeing the dude, I realized, oh wait, he actually is greeting just random Hispanics that come in. There was absolutely no black Hispanic but him. Therefore, the Hispanics that he was greeting were white and brown. And so, whatever the case, I realized that whenever there was like a black American working out on a machine, he like stood away from that little proximity. In my assumption, of course, I hate to assume, but in my assumption, is it was almost to avoid a potential greeting, as he would always be in the proximity of machines that were close to brown people that were Spanish speaking. Now, check this out. As time progressed, I also realized that he stared at me a lot. And it was because I never said what's up to him. And I always was also never in his proximity on purpose. I didn't want to greet him because I identified him as a black person who was anti black. And so one day, though, when I was working out, he decided to come to my proximity and be in that machine. And I'm one of those kind of people that the way that I express myself here and I'm honest and whatever, however you want to feel about it, then you're going to feel about it. I'm one of those people. And so I do my best to avoid certain people in real life because I will be honest, if you ask me something or say something that is out of pocket, I will express myself and fuck it. The consequences, let it be, right? So this dude decided to come to my proximity to the machine literally next to me as I was over there or whatever. And he decided to say what's up to me. Oh, hola, ¿cómo estás? And I looked at him and I just went, because I always have my headset on, I'm pretending that I'm like, yeah, 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 I'm busy, right? But he decided because the machine that I'm using is the one where I'm pulling the little thing, and like literally on the other side of it, it's like the same machine. It's the same machine, but on the other side of it, it's like where you pull the thing like that. So it's a one machine that on one side is pulling the thing, and the other side is pulling that. So he sits right there, literally face to face with me, to do this while I do this. And so when he's there, He's saying stuff. I can't hear him because I had the headset, but then I remove it and I was like, oh, ¿qué pasó? He says, oh, solo te estoy saludando. That means, oh, I'm just saying what's up to you. Oh, what's up? And then he says, you're the only Mexican I haven't actually got acquainted with. And I paused for a little bit. And I said, Ricardo, you have a choice. You could be really nice or you could be a jerk. But the jerk might be an educational moment for him. The nice won't be an educational moment for him. So I decided, be educational. So when he said, you're the only Mexican I haven't greeted yet, I paused for a little as I'm deciding, nice or jerk, nice or jerk. And I decided jerk. So I said, it's because I've been avoiding you. I said it straight up like that. And he goes, but see, here's the thing about Latinos. We take things like that as like joke, like sarcasm. It's like that. Oy, he goes like that. Oy, este cabrón. He says exactly like that. Like meaning, oh, listen to this fool. But he feels like I'm kidding because Mexicans say things like that. So he says, oh, este cabrón. And I just straight face, like, I'm not kidding. And then he has the smile, but then it starts fading and he goes, oh, he says, ¿en serio? I said, sí, en serio. ¿Y por qué? Why? Because I can't believe that I could actually ever get any kind of friendship or love from a person who doesn't even have love for his own self and his own people. And he goes, no entiendo, no entiendo. I don't understand, I don't understand. I said, I've been coming to this gym for a while now. And the whole time, I've seen you only say hello to all the Mexicans, only. You have never said hi to a single black one. Why? And he goes, oh, es que yo hablo español, because I speak Spanish. And yo sé que ellos no me van a entender. And I said, oh, are you new in this country? But I say it in English. Are you new in this country? He said it in Spanish. He says, I've been here for about 12 years. I said, so you don't understand English at all? You don't speak it at all? He said, oh, sí. I'm like, so the language is not a barrier then. He says, then he says it in English with a thick accent. Yes, I can speak it. But I'd rather speak Spanish. Oh, but you can't speak English and you understand it perfectly, yes? He says, yes. So again, why have you avoided to talk with your own people? And this is where I kind of switch gears on them and went a little harder because I want to teach something. And I said, you're trying really hard to make friends with Latinos. I understand you're Latino too. And I'm sorry to be the one to educate you on this, but non-black Latinos will never see you as their people. You will never, no matter how much you try, you as a black presenting person, I don't care if you're from wherever you're from in Latin America, you will never be identified as a Latino and you will never be accepted. And yet you're trying desperately to be a part of the Latinos who will never accept you. There's nothing you can do. Meanwhile, the people that are your race, that are your people, if you simply just say, what's up? That's it. You got yourself a homie because that's your people, man. And that's what I said. And he just, but whether that taught him something or not, I still saw him go back to his regular routine of only conversing with the Mexicans and never with black people. That's none of my business. My business was say what you have to say. It's not for you to determine who gets to learn what and what not, but it is you who gets to determine what you teach, what information you put out. And that was my part. I did my part for whatever that's worth, whatever he want to do with that, you know?
It can be very damaging to communities, for people who have those behaviors, who exhibit those behaviors. It's very dangerous. Those behaviors are very dangerous, because you don't know if, like you said earlier, is it a friend or is it a foe?
Yeah.
And he was pretty much displaying those qualities to you. You were able to point that out. You were able to analyze that. Unfortunately, in our society, there are rewards for rejecting blackness.
Yeah.
Whether that reward comes from YT people, like one of the usually YT people, you get positions of power. Those sometimes those people ascend to higher up, and they wreak havoc on the people who look like them. I've seen it,
Yeah.
and so this is another reason for why we have delineated, and sometimes, and also, I didn't really think about this. Some cultures of who are maybe of black race, who come from other countries, like to dump their trash in black American spaces. I'll give you an example. When there's a success, they'll say, oh, this is the first Jamaican, this is the first Haitian American, this is the first Nigerian to do so. But if it's somebody who's committed a crime, they'll say a black person committed a crime, black so and so, black race committed a crime. Reflects on us as FBAs. I didn't realize that until somebody had pointed that out, which was a good observation. So that's another thing that we've been doing. Just like, gosh, I forget the young man's name, but it took place in Miami where he had made some disparaging comments towards FBA's black women in particular. I think he was, I want to say the West African region. He said some things and then he ended up being unalived by his YT girlfriend. I think
Ah.
his name, I think his
Yeah.
name is Christian Almasambi. He ended up being unalived by his YT girlfriend. And there was a time where FBAs, we were like supporting, like, oh no, you need to arrest her and lock her up. She clearly unalived this man. Come to find out, they've dug up his Twitter. That support was gone. I tell my mom this all the time. That Bible has a hold on my people. It really does. It stops you from making important decisions. Should I forgive or should I just reflect on this? I need to reflect on how this made me feel. Do I forgive or do I just don't forget? My people love to forgive. Like, we have the biggest heart in the world. We do. And when it comes time to make a decision that could be life changing, I'm just giving an example. Let's say there's a married couple and the young lady is getting verbally abused, physically abused. There would be someone who was so into their Christianity, so into the Bible that they will stay because they took vows. They will stay. Instead of saying, I need to get me and my kids up out of here,
Huh?
they will stay, knowing that that person is causing you harm, man or woman. Women can be abusive too, knowing that that person is causing you harm. Turning the other cheek. I'm a fight fire with fire. I'm not turning the other cheek. I've done that so many times in my life. And I noticed that when I start to be mean, people leave me alone. Oh, I'm going to pray for you. Nah, fuck you. I have a few friends who are Christians and they don't believe in pew pews, right? I believe in pew pews. I live in Atlanta, okay? And in my state, you can open carry. But I have a few friends who are like, no, I'm not going to do that. My Christianity doesn't say that we need those. I'm like, okay. I said, what you going to do with somebody breaking your house? You going to pray? You going to throw the Bible at them? Now, this is just me. Everybody else is different. This is just me. That the same Bible that a lot of my people read, it was also used to enslave us. So I don't see how that is going to help me.
Yeah.
You have to break away from that. And that's why I say sometimes some of my people are kind of hypnotized by that Bible.
It is easier for a camel to enter the hole in a needle than for a rich person to enter heaven. So now imagine wealthy people teaching this to poor people. Rich people have been guilting us if we want to economically rise out of the ashes that rich people fooled us into being. Oh my God, you sold your soul to the Illuminati. Okay, so how was I supposed to exit? How we as a whole were supposed to exit these conditions? See, on one hand, we are a people that we need to rise. But then when we do, oh, you must have sold your soul to the devil. That's how you managed to get rich. Well, goddamn. Because wealthy whitey people being wealthy and owning everything, it's completely normal. But when one of us earn wealth, we must have sold our souls. It's almost like we are conditioned as a people to guilt one another for wanting to rise. How else are we supposed to rise if not economically? If not like that, how? How do they control us? Yes, yeah, systemically, but I mean, economically is how we're controlled collectively. And if we, as a collective of people, we don't all together agree that, hey, some of the most intelligent minds need to come together and not only get wealthy, but bring our wealth together to build our own communities. If not that, then how? However, when one of us, when a Jay-Z, when a Michael Jordan, when an Oprah gets wealthy, all of a sudden they must have sold their soul to the Illuminati. It's like,
Illuminati.
yeah, it's like, wait a minute. So you want your people to rise, but when they are attempting to and they're already climbing up, it's like, oh, you sold your soul. So it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. Damn, you're poor. What shame. Are you rich? Shame on
Damn, you
you.
rich.
Yeah, it's like we're so hoodwinked. We're a people that are hoodwinked deeper than we ever imagined we are.